Welcome to Little Birdie TV. I'm your host Scoot, and welcome to the Ultimate Driver announcement for First Over Crush Syndicate. I'm joined by Ryan Spice, professional punter in the harness world. Welcome, Ryan.
Good. Hello. Thanks for having us.
Pretty exciting times in harness racing, and I think this is a concept that will take not only harness racing but all codes by storm, and hopefully harness can get a couple away before everyone starts to piggyback on this. But I'm not usually a harness man. I grew up around the harness circles in Albury, but this has got me absolutely excited. It's just up the road. It's at Albion Park. You would make the trek down from Buderim, and this is in your backyard. You must be fizzing.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. This concept is an absolute ripper. I just think it's going to grow year on year. I can see we're going to have a $1 million kitty at one point, and I wouldn't be surprised if in no time flat the Gallops code copy and pastes the concept.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get a little bit of a first reply. First Over Crush Syndicate is one of the inaugural slot holders. It's pretty exciting stuff, and well done for Ladbrokes and Racing Queensland for getting this one off the ground. But let's get some background on the concept, because a lot of our viewers will be thinking, what are you guys talking about? And what we're talking about is a 2-day series on Friday and Saturday night, February 21 and 22nd in 2025. So it's the summer series. It's going to be hot and sweaty up there at Albion Park, but it's going to be an absolute beauty. So you've got $250,000 pot up for grabs, and this is on top of the race-to-race prize money. So the great thing about this concept is they haven't targeted a big feature meeting here, but they've chosen some pretty, generic, let's call it, Friday and Saturday race cards, and they've made the races penalty-free. So if you enter a runner, you're not going to go up or down in grade, and you get to keep all the prize money. So I think this is fantastic. As you say, it's a starting point of $250K, so great opening bank that all these teams and slot holders are going to have a crack at. And there's 10 slot holders, and then that means there's 10 world-class drivers. There's 20 races over the 2 nights, so there's 10 races on each card, and it's a point series. So there'll be points decided for first down to the placings at least, and maybe to the top 5. Not quite sure if they've decided how that all works, but we're about to kick in $20,000 between us to buy the slot. And then we've got a selection panel, and I think the Brains Trust is yourself, Ryan, and Will Norman. So you guys are sort of steering the ship here, and I guess this is an announcement. So we'll try and build it up a little bit, but choosing your own driver. So there's been a couple that have already come out and had been chosen. I think Dexter Dunn's been announced for Ladbrokes. Gary Hall Jr.'s come out as well. And so it's going to be pretty competitive. And I think the best drivers, not just in Australia, but there could be some internationals that sort of float around here. But this is going to be a pretty exciting Friday and Saturday night. Has it been, I guess, in the early stages to try and get a driver? Has it been competitive? And what's the talk around the key drivers in Australia? Is everyone as excited as the slot holders for this one?
Yeah, I think it's been well thought, so to speak. To like, there's been a lot of cloak and dagger type work about who's going to be driving and who's getting selected. But I think when you have a look at who the slot holders are, it's pretty semi-obvious about who's going to be potentially selected. The other couple of driver announcements are huge. Summit Bloodstock Group take out an American driver. His name is Yannick Gingras, and this guy's won a little brown jug 3 times. He's had 25 Breeders' Crown titles. He's done everything. I think he's in his mid-40s, and he's been associated with horses like Tall Dark Stranger, followed again. So he's an absolute world-class driver. And you can't, I think Ladbrokes' driver, Dexter Dunn, you can make a strong argument that he would be the number 1 driver in the world. So he's kind of the flagship for the series. Can't wait to have everyone at Albion Park in February.
And just to clarify here, so the championship's going to be in February. So it's going to be Friday, February 21st, and Saturday, February 22nd. And there's a pit lane for the slot holders. So I think we'll be pretty well watered and fed down there. And we'll try and smuggle in some extra guests when we can, and we'll be able to interact with the drivers, which will make some pretty good content and pretty good commentary around the whole thing. And then there's 250k prizes on top of the regular prize money, which is great. And then the outright winner will be the slot holder / driver, whoever accrues most points. So I think there's a little bit of a Wednesday night draft. But the good thing here is it's a pretty big pot. So it's the 20k outlay initially to get a slot. There's 10 slots, and then so first prize takes home 100,000 between the slot holders, and then you got second place at 50k, 35,000 for third, and then you get your money back if you're on fourth, and then some minor prizes for fifth, all the way down to 10th. So and there's some race winner dead heat $1,000 kickers as well there. So as you say, I think this is absolutely brilliant. Can't wait for it to get up to that $1 million mark. But it's a great little sampler at 250k for the first voyage of this series concept. And the good thing is, Rhino, at the build-ups on the Wednesday night, there's a snake-style draft, which is a bit of a tongue twister, and that's televised. So it'll be yourself, Will Norman, and Mr. X, our driver, and you guys will have to draw well. Hopefully you're out early, and you don't just pick across the first race, but you can basically choose any horse on the card at any race. So that probably evens it up if you fall a little bit down the track in terms of your draft order.
Yeah, so I imagine the fields are going to drop late on a Monday, and pretty much the draft is going to be on the Wednesday. So she's going to be a jam-packed 48 hours, smashing out the form, getting your rankings done, so that you're all over it come Wednesday for the draft. And yeah, the snake style draft is exciting. Order picks 1 to 10 will be drawn randomly out of a barrel by RQ, and then that'll determine your draft position. And getting the draft night right is crucial, I think, to winning the series.
All right, let's have a look at Ladbrokes, who are betting on the winner of this market, which is pretty cool stuff. And I think they're open now and betting on it. So the favourite, according to them, is Gary Hall Jr. He's at $5. You've got Dexter Dunn at $6, Nathan Dawson $6, Pete Mullen $7, Luke McCarthy $8, Brad Hewitt $9, Tim Tetrick $9, Yannick Gringus, the Green Hornet, as you mentioned earlier, the North American driver, he's at $9. Then you got Cameron Hart $10, Todd McCarthy $10, Angus Garrard at $12, and then Bjorn Goop, cracking name that, $12 also. Having a look at your market versus their market, you sort of priced it up around $7 the field here. You got Pete Mullen, $7 favourite, Nathan Dawson, $7, Dexter Dunn, $8, Gary Hall Jr., $8. So it looks like Ladbrokes have got their foot firmly on, I guess, the most popular and some of the most renowned riders, or drivers, in Dexter Dunn and Gary Hall Jr. And then you've got Yannick out the gate there at $12, Kate Gass. You're expecting Kate to get a slot also, and then you got Brad Hewitt and a couple others there at $12 or $16. So, what's your thoughts? Are you going to be trying to jam in here on a few of them?
My thoughts here. Number one is that the Ladbrokes market is all in. So anyone who's looking to gamble responsibly, do so with care. Make sure perhaps that you only entertain drivers that have been announced. You will burn your cash if you back someone and they don't get a slot. That's pretty critical. But I think if some of the big boys from Queensland, if they get slots, their local knowledge of the track and the local knowledge of the horse content, I think that's going to be a really big leg up for the series.
But it is time to announce our driver at First Over Crush Syndicate, and that's 5 times Group 1 winning driver, Nathan Dawson.
In second, but it's all My Ultimate Byron, and My Ultimate Byron wins easily again. Dawson again, 3 races down, 3 winners. Dawson. Rinse and repeat, Dawson, 4 straight. Nathan Dawson has won every race. That's 5 winners tonight for Nathan Dawson. He won the first 4 races, and it rounds out the program.
Ryan, you've priced him as eagle favourite in your market, and he's a Queensland boy, so all the better too. But welcome to the show, Nathan Dawson.
Morning, boys. How's it going?
We're going better now, and we're pretty excited about this one. Big home ground advantage for yourself, and 400 wins last season. You've already got your way over 200 this year, and career strike rate at 15%. So Albion Park is right up your alley, mate.
Yeah, it is. Obviously I've been here my whole life and driven on the track here, so obviously it's going to be a big advantage getting into the big night.
Silly question, Ryan, but why and how did you choose Nathan as our driver?
Oh, look, it's no secret I've been a fan of Nathan's skills behind the reins for a very, very long time, right from when he was a junior driver. I followed his career closely, and you only had to see what Nathan did in 2023, where he sort of took all before him and drove over 400 winners going at 20%. He's just blossomed as a driver the last 5 or 6 years. I lost patience, but also too, he can be aggressive enough and then light him up and get him on the front end and swell him up as well. So, for me, Nathan was always my logical number one pick for the series.
Nathan, what's your biggest career win, or what's your favourite out of all your Group 1 winners?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say Victorian Derby. We went in there not expecting a lot, going around at 200 to 1. So to get that horse over the line and, in a close finish, probably the highlight.
Anything there for you at the 200s, Spicy?
Mate, it's a bit of a legendary punting story here in the house. We've had the boys over for Fox Plate weekend get together, and we absolutely got hammered on the punt, on the gallops and the harness. And we had a small amount left over, and I told the boys, I said, all right, look, one last bet for the week. Rolled into the tab, did some EBT action, and let's just say, not as promised, and Nathan Dawson made the day.
The postman delivered. Now, talking about the concept and I guess the draft night on the Wednesday night, I'll ask you first, Nathan. Who's really in charge of the horse selection here? Are you going to stamp your authority and push Will and Ryan out of the way? You'll take a little bit of what they say on board, or you'd know all these horses inside out, but who gets the final call? Is it you?
As you said, I know all these horses inside out, and I go around them, and I driven most of them, so I'll have a big input, but also we listen to Ryan and Will, because we do a lot of form and that. So I think the three of us together, we can make some good decisions.
What's your strategy for this one, Ryan? Without giving away too much to the competitors, but snake style draft. Would you target a couple of races and pepper a few early, or? It's got me confused. I don't know which way I'd start. Do you start with your best bets first, or?
Yeah, I think there's anything that's absolutely obvious, something that's going to be, a few races there, but there might be some runners that are going to start, twos on. I think if you've got those early picks, obviously you have to nab them. But I think having your rankings sorted so that you don't get caught on the hop in the middle part of the draft. I think the top and the bottom will be easy ranking wise, but the middle section, I think you got to be clear and understand who's taken what and where, so that you can make clear decisions and get them right. And it'll be that middle part of the draft, I think, that sees whoever's going to be crowned victor will take the honours.
So who's more organised here? Is it yourself, or is it Will Norman? Who's the brains trust behind you two boys, and who's most organised and who's likely to panic under pressure?
No, I think we're all pretty cool, calm and collected. Nathan doesn't lose his head too much on the track, which is good. So we'll be right, I reckon. And
Nathan, who's the driver or team to beat in your eyes, or who's some of the drivers that you respect most?
Yeah, obviously, some of the ones from America that have been announced so far are obviously world, class drivers. So, and then some of the locals, if they get a start like Pete and that, obviously, their name speaks for themselves. So it's going to be a really good night, and a lot of good drivers. So it's going to be awesome to be a part of it.
And Ryan, this concept, it comes from Trent Dawson, so it's a little bit of an advantage here, given that it's a little bit close to home. This one,
a relation of Nathan's floated the idea with Racing Queensland, and then between Racing Queensland and Albion Park Harness Racing Club, they've workshopped it and come up with this series. So it's something from nothing. RQ continues to innovate and really lead the way in this space in Australia. David Brick and the team really need to be commended, and it's one of our biggest strengths at the moment is we've got Jason Scott at the helm of Racing Queensland, and I think personally we're going to see a lot of good changes in the coming years under their management style.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's already starting to turn the dial in the horse racing code, and this looks an absolute cracker. You got any more questions or any more comments for Nathan before we go?
Look, we just need to make sure, obviously, Nathan's going to bring his A game when the series. He's the one of the hot seat. He's got to go out there and deliver. But probably one final point is, I would encourage everyone to come. You're going to see some absolute world-class drivers. Even Lost the Park Syndicate has announced Gary Moore Jr. as their driver. Gary's 42. He's driven 4,000 career winners. He's earned over $50 million in prize money. But he's been associated with some champions of the sport like I'm the Mighty Quinn, Chicago Bull, and the Falcon Strike. So, I'd encourage everyone to come down, be trackside. You can rub shoulders up nice and close with these people, and it should be a wonderful concept.
Yeah, I'm pumped. It looks like there's going to be a little welcome party or something on the Thursday night as well. So it's draft night Wednesday. Thursday night there'll be a welcome party, and then you've got the series itself for Friday and Saturday night. So you can park yourself up at Brizzy in the Brecky Creek Hotel. I think we'll get a fair workout, but it'll be the who's who, and there'll be so many people. I think there's 20 or so in our slot times 10 slots. So there's going to be some big names in the harness world, and punters, owners, breeders, all these people have put the syndicates together. And obviously this is a big collaboration between Ryan and your punting group, and then obviously Nathan and his owners and breeders and supporters as well. So First Over Crush, how's the name come about? I thought it might be a reference to, a bit of a heartbreak or a love story, or a girl that you've never got over, Spicy. But Chris Barsby, race caller, he's got a couple of absolute crackers. First Over Crush is one of his that he says, and back straight bull rush move is another one, and 4 in, 4 out. Ryan, can you explain that to us, how you've fallen on First Over Crush as the name?
Yeah, pretty much. It's good. It's an ode to the great man. We're pretty blessed here in Queensland that Chris Barsby is our race caller. He's world class. I think he's one of the great broadcasters across all 3 codes in Australia. So, yeah, it's pretty much an ode to the fact that Chris Barsby is the GOAT.
All right, well, First Over Crush Syndicate, let's have a quick look at some of the members, some white-hot punters and people involved in the harness racing community here. Spicy, you're the team captain with Will Norman. Nathan's obviously in it. Darren Carroll jumps out at me. Josh Nelms down in Melbourne. Mitchy Sidebottom. Old Moo, he's done a live stream with us, and a couple of white-hot punters. Even got a couple of boys from Tassie coming up as well. So got a good little mix of Victoria, Queensland, Tasmania, and a nice little spread of smart punters and really rusted on harness racing people. So it should be a beauty. Even Kerry Phillips' name's down on the list there. So bookies will be trembling, and hopefully we'll be betting up throughout the night and making some noise down at Pit Lane. But you can follow us. We've got a First Over Crush Twitter handle, and we'll be pouring out content on and off the track for the couple of days there, which will make things exciting. And you got a little bit of a fun little hashtag as well, Spicy.
We do, mate. Yeah, the fuck yeah is going to be our hashtag for the series, First Over Crush. And let's hope it comes down to the last race. Nate parks up in the chair, and it is a big First Over Crush that launches us to victory.
And if you want to meet the Fockers, you can come to Albion Park Friday, 21st and 22nd next year. Gates open from 5 o'clock on both nights. So stay tuned for more announcements via our Twitter handle. And Nathan, good driving, nice clean driving in the lead up to the big night. Stay away from Marburg, no suspensions, and keep your head down and keep driving well, mate.
Thanks, boys. We'll do my best.
Cool. Big thanks to Ladbrokes and all the boys that have kicked in here and got this syndicate up and going. I know the Dawson crew and Spicy and Will Norman have worked really hard, and it's going to be an absolute beauty. And I think this is going to go a long way to a big couple of days. And wow, this concept's probably one of the best team ideas that I've seen, and I can't wait to see it all unfold in February at Albion Park. I'll be there, and make sure you slide into our DMs if you want to join the party in February, and more the merrier. And we'll be parked up at the Brecky Hotel. So can't wait, and we'll have more updates and some more videos and some content as we get closer to the event. We might do a bit of a preview show as well after we've got the snake barrier draw and final fields are set, maybe on the Wednesday or Thursday from Albion Park. So it could be Little Birdie TV on the road for the First Over Crush Syndicate. So can't wait. See you soon.